I'm a bad bitch, yeah. You know I'm that bitch, can't get off of this dick, yeah. I am that bitch, now you know I'm that bitch, yeah. I am that bitch, yeah. You know I'm that bitch, I am that bitch, I'm a
Hello everyone, and welcome back to That Bitch Podcast. I hope you guys all had a fantastic past week and a half. Mine was awesome. I was in LA, as you had previously heard in my last podcast episode, and probably seen all my videos on Facebook and Snapchat, and all that kind of good stuff. I also recorded a bunch on a camera. Oh, my cat's already here. Wow, he's very early this time. I recorded a bunch on my sister's camera that I took with me so I could vlog my entire trip. So I'm still working on the vlogging. I had like over 1,000 pictures and videos. So it's taking a while to sort everything. I now have put everything in like a certain file. So like day 1, LA vlog day 1, day 2, day 3, up to 7. So now I'm trying to slowly get that all figured out. There's just a lot to go through, and it's exhausting staring at a computer screen for hours on end. Looks like my cat's joining this week's episode. You can possibly see him on my lap. So a little breakdown of what went down. Flying there was easy, it was good. It's kind of funny though, because I made a friend on the way to Calgary. This girl was sleeping beside me like all the way there, so we didn't really talk until after we got off the flight. Then we were talking, basically told each other our entire life stories to each other. I don't know her name, she doesn't know my name, still, I never asked her, and then she never asked me. And it was funny because we were like following each other after security and customs and like waiting for each other to make sure we all got our bags and all that kind of stuff, so it was kind of nice. So then when I was at the Calgary airport, when I was waiting at my my terminal, I was talking to like this family of 5, and I ended up like making friends with them. I don't know what any of their names are, but we talked for a good half an hour about like date plans and all that kind of stuff, and where they're going, where I'm going, where they're from, where I'm from, all that fun stuff. So yeah, it was kind of nice. I wanted to be very outgoing and stuff during this trip, because I've been very like introverted because of COVID, and before I was very extroverted and I wanted to go out, meet people, have fun and all that stuff, but because of COVID I became very introverted because it was like I was so used to being home. I'm very content still being introverted, staying at home in bed, binge watching Netflix and all that kind of stuff. But I'm like, I really need to get back out of my shell because I was having a lot more fun, had more experiences, and I had a lot more stories to tell. So on the way there, everything went smoothly, got all my luggage, all was good. Then I started vlogging from the airport. Of course, when I get to the airport, I missed the bus that I was supposed to go on the first time because the directions to where to go to get the rental car was not very clear. It was called the pink bus, but the bus was not pink. It just had like a tag on it that said pink bus. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, okay. So pink bus was on like a post. It actually said green bus on actual bus. So I finally jumped on it, and then I was waiting to get to the rental car place. That took forever because they get dropped off at another spot that the shuttles from the rental place pick you up. So that was annoying. Waited there for 10-15 minutes, and then finally got to the rental car area. Now, I am definitely not going to be going to budget type of rental car companies anymore if I do a rental car again. I went with Green Motion. And it was also called U-Save because it's apparently European and American. Yeah, not the greatest service. They took forever to do everything, and there was like 5 of us in line. This one guy behind me and this other lady, he was just complaining like nobody's business. He would not stop. And we're just like, oh my God. Like, you basically pay what you get for. Like, you're getting a budget company, it's gonna take a while. Like, it's not amazing. It's not top tier. The car I got was good. It was a Toyota Corolla, I think. I don't know what year it was. It was brand new. I only had like 300 miles on it because they go in miles. But lesson learned. This guy from the rental company, even the guy of the owner of the rental company, they would not let anybody go and get one of their cars without liability insurance. Because apparently you have to have liability insurance to drive in the States. But my sister had called SGI, which is where my insurance is for my vehicle here, and my insurance here covers it there. So I spent an extra like $140 for the 6 days, like total on top of everything, just to have liability insurance that I already had. Super freaking annoying. So, yeah, lesson learned for that. But anyways, got the car, went back to my Airbnb, had like a 2-hour nap-ish, and then had to get ready for my date number 1. We had went to this one restaurant, what the hell, Paul Martin's, I think it was called. It was really good. It was kind of like similar to like a steakhouse, burger place, kind of fancy kind of vibe. But it was good. I'm going to have all my videos in a vlog, so I don't want to go into too much detail about what happened on each date. Just kind of little vague stuff, and then you can watch the vlogs once I get them posted, because there will be 7 of them. I'm hoping the videos will only be like max 10 minutes long, because there's so much content, but the content's like maybe 5, 10-second videos, like 20-second videos, and some pictures. Yeah, so date 1 went really well. Finally got to meet one of the guys I'd been talking to for like 2.5 years. He was super nice, as expected. He had picked me up because I felt more comfortable of him picking me up. Like the other guys, I didn't let them pick me up. I had driven to their places or driven to meet up with them. Just in case, if things are awkward, you don't know if this guy's like sketch or not. But no, this guy was awesome. I don't know, when you're talking to someone, you get a vibe from them that like everything's okay, this guy's cool, it's chill. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe that I got. Yeah, so then date number 2, I had went to meet up with him at Manhattan Beach. We went onto the pier there. It was later at night because I had slept in, and then I forget I was doing something during the day. Oh, I went shopping, like grocery shopping and stuff. And I was kind of like getting everything ready because I was so tired. I needed to catch up on sleep on the Tuesday because the Monday I had no sleep. I was running on 2.5 hours of sleep all of Monday. And yeah, so went to the Manhattan Pier, walked down that, and then kind of walked down the sides. There's like a kind of like a boardwalk type of thing, and then there's all the houses on the one side. And man, those houses are fucking massive. Probably like multi-million-dollar houses. But that's not really surprising because of the place you're in, Manhattan Beach. And then we went to a pasta place. Pasta was great. It was like all fresh, handmade kind of pasta made there. I had a penne pesto. And then we had gotten these drinks. And I had gotten some sort of it was like a pomegranate mule. I never had a mule before. And I'm not like too hyped up on like gin or whatever the hell's all in there. So I think I had gotten a vodka-based one. Yeah, no, it was pretty disgusting. So I mainly drank a lot of water. And then he had his, I think he might have had a mule or something else. Something with, or was it like a whiskey drink? I don't know. But I also have all that on my vlogs too. So day number 2 went really well. I went back to his place, kind of saw his apartment and everything. It was a pretty big apartment for what I was expecting in like the areas. You think they'd be smaller, but no, it was pretty big. Yeah, so then I ended up going back to my Airbnb after because I was just like wiped. And honestly, I just wasn't like feeling like sexual tension or anything. So I wasn't going to like force myself to do something I didn't really want to do. But he was super awesome, really nice guy. And I would totally hang out with him again if I ever, I'm going to. I'm going to go to LA for sure. Again, maybe like a year or something. Or if something else comes up, I will definitely go whenever I have the opportunity to. So then, day 3, my birthday. I went on the TMZ Celebrity Tour. It was lots of fun. Sadly, we didn't see any celebrities. We saw some, like, TikToker. I didn't even realize or recognize who this TikToker guy was. And then this little band that was playing, I don't know. But it was nice to go and, like, hear all the stories and everything about all these buildings and places. We went down Sunset Boulevard, Hollywood Boulevard, Rodeo Drive, went to Beverly Hills. We all, like, on the bus, the tour bus, they kind of drive you around on the main streets, I guess, where the celebrity hotspots usually are so they can see someone, but we didn't see anybody. But I did get a lot of photos, and I don't know if I got any videos while on the bus, but I'll have photos and all that kind of stuff in my day 3 vlog as well. And then I went back down Hollywood Boulevard, and oh my god, so parking, I was like rushing to get to Hollywood Boulevard because you have to be in the Hard Rock Cafe. So, traffic there is not fun, but it's not like horrible or anything. I was expecting a lot worse. There is a lot of traffic, but for me, I never stopped. It's like solid stopped once. It was either you're full blast going or you're just going at a very slow pace, but the traffic is not stopping, which is good because otherwise it just causes a whole clusterfuck basically. So I was like literally running late, even though I had to be 15 minutes early. I was on time, but not 15 minutes early. So parking, I found like on the other side of like behind this one building, and it was $25 for parking. Trying to record this when I finally have energy, and now they want me to go to Five Guys. So I just text my mom. Hopefully she can just bring me back a burger. Because I really want to get this done. So parking was $25. I was shooketh, to say the least. But I managed to spend about 5 hours there. Oh, here comes the dog. So it was about 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. Yeah, so I spent about $5 an hour for parking, which I guess isn't too bad, but still sucked. Oh my god, Penny, leave him alone. The struggle of having a puppy that wants to go after my cat. So, parking, I guess then, from where I got the spot was pretty close. It was like maybe 1 block, which wasn't too bad. Then I did some walking around because I went to some of the souvenir shops, and then I had walked down like the Hollywood stars, like all that kind of stuff. Took a few photos and videos of the stars, but nothing too crazy. It's just a star on the ground with a name, basically. And to get your name on the star, you have to pay to get your name on a star, and then you pay for the upkeep and all the cleaning and all that kind of shit. So realistically, what the fuck is the point in getting a star when you have to pay for it anyways? If you want one, just buy one. Like, yeah. So there was that. Then I went to this one souvenir store. It was called like La La Land. It was quite pricey. Clearly it was extra. Like, it was so much music. They had Elvis's car in there and like a figure of Elvis and all this kind of stuff. It was nice, but I didn't end up buying anything. Good thing I didn't, because then when I went out across the street, there was like a store that was like everything's $10 and under, and they had a sale going on. As long as you had one of the baskets, everything was $5 in your basket, like each item, except the sweatshirts, which I got one sweatshirt, then I got some hats and little trophies for souvenirs for my sister's mom and then my best friend. And yeah, so then I ended up going to In-N-Out Burger because everybody says In-N-Out Burger is amazing. No. No, it's not. If you've ever had a DQ burger, it has like next to no taste. It's not juicy. It's just kind of like blah. The fries are kind of like blah, you know? That's exactly how In-N-Out Burger was. It was not that great. The line was forever. It took me about 5 minutes to get in line, like to go through to order, but it took me about 15, 20 minutes to actually get my food. And when I got my food, it was like warm, not super hot, but it also was not juicy. It was very bland. There was not a whole lot of flavor. The fries were like super thin, no seasoning. I'm like, why the fuck do Americans like In-N-Out Burger? I don't understand. It was probably the worst shit that I ever fucking had. So I was like, I need to try In-N-Out Burger. I want to try Sonic. Couldn't find a Sonic. I want to try Chipotle. But I found a Chipotle on my shopping day. So, okay. Later on, after I had done all my walking around Hollywood Boulevard and all the way around, I had met up with date number 3. We went out for Mexican, went to an authentic Mexican restaurant. I had some tacos. And then we had went to go get ice cream at some Saffron and Rose place. It's like a little ice cream shop. It was okay. I mean, the flavors I got were like normal flavors, but they had so many random fucking flavors. Like, if you want vanilla and saffron, like, or lavender and vanilla, like shit like that, like, why would you want saffron in your ice cream? I don't understand. Why would you want to eat lavender? I don't understand. So I got like the basic, but it was also really like melted. It must be because it was so warm in there, but you think, knowing where you live, it's warm always, every single day. You think you'd have better, like, air or something wherever the ice cream is just to keep cold so it doesn't all melt. Yeah, it's whatever. But it did taste good. And he had drove me all around, like, the LA area and Beverly Hills, Rodeo Drive, past some massive-ass, like, stores. Like, and then you get to see the Louis Vuitton store, the Balenciaga. But also, Balenciaga stuff, I don't understand why people like it so much. Like, the stuff that I see people wear, or the stuff on like the runways, it's fucking ugly. I'm sorry. Well, I'm not really sorry. Balenciaga is not that nice. Like, if it was more like the classic type of outfit, like, I like stuff like this. I have a shirt on that says Calvin Klein right on the neck. Like, that's nice. If I had something on like my chest that said like Balenciaga, or on my neck or the side of a shirt, stuff like that. I don't need no clunky ass outfits. I don't need no block looking things. Like, I don't want to look like a freaking robot or an alien. Like, no thank you. That's like Kanye's Yeezys and shit. Like, I don't know why anybody wants to wear those goddamn ugly shoes or his clothing. Why would you want ripped t-shirts for at all anything. Like, that's not even professional looking. You couldn't wear a Yeezy shirt that's going to cost you like $100, $200 that looks like it got put in the dryer and ripped apart and then you're wearing it. Like, it's just, I don't understand a lot of this high fashion. Like, it's not realistic, the shit you see on the runway. That's for damn sure. Anyways, off topic of the clothing. So after he had driven me around all over the place, I had some videos and pictures from where he was driving me to these different houses. He showed me some massive houses. It was pretty cool. And then I went back to my car. I'm just kind of skipping little parts because you'll see the vlogs later on when I release them. Date 4 as well. Day 4, I did the beaches. I went to Santa Monica Pier and Santa Monica Beach, and then I went to Venice Beach. Santa Monica Pier, it's what you'd expect, a pier with a bunch of, like, games and shit and some stores. Like, I'm not overly impressed anymore with commercialized, like, activities, I guess, like the Ferris wheel. I love Ferris wheels, but there's, like, roller coasters and other games like that, like rides like that. I was like, cool, I'm literally seeing this at the exhibition here, or just go to Disneyland or Universal. You'll see a lot more things there and a lot more fun. So I went pretty much all the way to the end of the pier, but then my feet were already really, really hurting. My flip-flops ended up giving me fucking blisters. And then, so thank God I had my shoes in my vehicle because I was going to go walk at Venice Beach after. So, ended up going back down the pier to go find a spot on the beach. I kind of like went into the ocean a little bit with my feet, but because I'm by myself, I don't want to leave my bag of my like credit cards and other my personal items and like my phone and the camera. I didn't want to leave that there. So I just put my feet in the water. Then I was trying to lay down somewhere on the beach. I had my sand cloud blanket, which the code is in the description of this video. Because I love the sand cloud stuff because you can put it on sand. And even though you get sand on the towel, all you have to do is get up, shake the towel off, and all the sand falls off. Unlike any other towel, it gets stuck to the material. But sand cloud stuff does not because it is made out of Turkish cotton. There's just a little plug in there. But yes, description, oh my god. The code is in the description for sand cloud. Oh, my doggo's over here now. Oh, jolly bear. So I had used my SoundCloud towel, laid on the beach for a bit, but it was so hard to try and find a spot that there was nobody smoking around me or having to smell people's cigarettes. Like, disgusting. So I laid there maybe for like an hour or so, and then I had to go find my car after because I had parked it in like a parkade, as they would call it, a structure. And of course, this is the first time I lose my car. And I even took a picture of where my car was parked and dropped a pin. Yeah, no, I couldn't find it. I was on level 3, going up, and I went to 5 in the end. And then I'm like, what the fuck, where is it? So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll hit the red button that sort of, like, puts an alarm off for the honking. Because when you go, like, you hit the lock button, the beep beep is not, like, a honk, like regular vehicles do. It's like a beep beep. There's no honking. So I hit the other button that puts off an actual loud honk. And good thing I was on level 4 because it was actually on level... No, I was on level 3, and it was actually on level 2, so I was like, fuck. And I literally, when I was holding it, when I clicked it, I was, honest to God, right above my car. So when I had to walk all the way down, find the car, and finally had a bunch of water, a little bit of snacks, and then went to Venice Beach. Now, trying to get fucking parking at Venice Beach is next to goddamn impossible, but guess what? Somehow, I found a spot that was free. It was kind of like down like a back alley residential type area, and I wasn't too sure if I could park there because it had like a no parking sign from I think it was like 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I'm like, okay, well, it's about 4 o'clock now, so I should be okay. I parked there. Then I noticed that on the corners of all like the curbs, there's red paint. And I'm like, what the hell? Does this mean you can't park here? So I parked, I got out, looked at all the vehicles like around it to see if they had any tickets or anything. None did. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm parking here. Fuck it. So parked there. I walked down the boulevard, oh my God. Boardwalk, the Venice Boardwalk. Looked at some stores, seen a lot of people, seen a lot of homeless people. The amount of homeless people in LA is, honest to God, it is sad. Absolutely sad. I'll tell you a story about something in a bit here. But was walking down, and then I had wanted to go to the water. And I swear to God, from the boardwalk to the ocean, it's probably about a mile, kilometer, whatever in distance. There's so much fucking beach, like so much sand. It is a long walk. I should have went there first because it was very dead at Venice Beach on the actual beach. So I had walked all the way to the ocean, was like made some videos, took some pictures, and then kind of like went in the water a little bit. Then I had sat on the sand. But on the way to the actual ocean, walking there on the sand, some guy comes up behind me and he's like, "Hey, can I grab your butt?" I'm like, "What? You grab my butt?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "No." This guy looked at me. He's like, "Why not? I just want to grab your butt." I was like, "No," and I just kept on walking. Like, what the fuck, people? Why would you ask somebody that? Especially a stranger. If it was your friend, it's a different story. But I'm some rando. Like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, my God. And also, on the way back, I had to go pee so fucking bad. And there's public bathrooms. And I'm like, oh my God. These are going to be gross, but hopefully it's, like, usable. So I go and, like, peek in the one. Absolutely disgusting. Toilet paper and shit to the rim of this toilet. Toilet paper everywhere. It smelled like fucking ass. Like, literally ass. And I quickly ran away from there and got back to my car as soon as I could. And then just held it and drove back to my Airbnb because I could not go in any of those bathrooms. I was so disgusted. And when I get back to my Airbnb, that is when I realized I burnt. I burnt my chest. I don't know. No, you can't really see it right now. But I also put self-tanner on. I'm now peeling a little bit, which sucks, even though I've been moisturizing every single night and day. But whatever. Yeah, I got a burn on my chest and then on my shoulders. In my vlogs and photos, you'll end up seeing that because it's pretty fucking lobster red. But yeah, I went to my date at the end of the beach day. We went to Top Golf's, and it's like, it was a golf store / like game place. They had like one of those, I think it's called a simulator kind of thing, where you play golf like on one of the spots and you're like hitting on a ball into like a field. But they actually had a field, not just some like screen. It was a legit like golf field all the way out in the big ass net. Bunch of different circles where you play different games to try to get your ball in. And they have a screen where you look at, I'm assuming, your points. We never ended up playing. We had supper there. Or dinner, as Americans like to say. So we went for dinner there. And this goddamn restaurant fucked up my order twice. Now, I ordered a buttermilk chicken sandwich, but I wanted it in a wrap. Not like in a sandwich. I didn't want bread. I wanted it in a wrap. And I was like, "Can you do that?" You're like, "Yeah, we should be able to." And I was like, "Can I get cheese as well?" "Oh yeah, that's no problem." So, half an hour goes by, maybe even an hour. The service there sucked. We only had one drink, I think, each, and then water because the service was that fucking bad. And then this person comes back before this hour's up and says, "Do you want a lettuce wrap?" And I was like, "No, just like a regular wrap." They're like, "Oh, okay." They come back with my order the first time. It's in a lettuce wrap. I said, "I didn't order a lettuce wrap. I ordered a regular wrap." "Oh, well, we can fix it if you want. It might just be another half an hour." I was like, "That's fine." And he took it. And then, first of all, there was no cheese on there either. Comes back half an hour later again. This thing comes back with like the buttermilk chicken and then like coleslaw type stuff on top. Charlie. Coleslaw stuff on top. Stop it! I'm trying to record here, Charlie. So I had the little pile of stuff on top and a wrap. Folded tortilla wrap on the side. Like, what the fuck? And no cheese. No cheese at all. But I was like, you know what, fuck it. I will just deal with it. I grabbed the food, opened the wrap, put it in there, and just ate it from there. Honest to God, you would think they would just cut up the buttermilk chicken and throw it in a wrap. That's it. So that was disappointing. The food still, the food itself was good. It tasted good. But I was just very annoyed with the shitty ass service and the food. They messed up my order twice. Penny, relax. I got 2 dogs in here. My dog and Penny are in here. And Penny is being a little bee and constantly growling at Charlie. Fantastic. So, end of the date happens. We end up going over to his motel he was staying at for school. And I stayed there for a while. We had some fun. Yeah. That night ended in a happy ending, but not for me per se. All I have to say, people, actually to the usually males. If you are going to edge yourself and you know you're not going to stay hard if you're edging yourself, like if you're going to be like half hard, just don't do it. If you're going to finish, just finish the first time. Y'all can wait, like a girl and a guy will wait a little bit longer till you're fully hard again, because trying to shove a half-hard penis into a fucking vagina is not easy nor fun. That's all I gotta say on that. That's very frustrating. Anyways, day 5 comes. Day 5 was my shopping day. I had went to the fashion district. That was very interesting. I ended up in the wholesale area when I needed to be in like the regular shopping area, because wholesale only companies can buy, not a regular residential person. So I walked for quite a while and then found like the place where anybody can buy. I know there's a lot of vendors on the street. There's a lot of vendors that sell fake brand name bags, flip-flops, belts, sunglasses, purses, backpacks, wallets, everything you can think of, they will sell you. It's very interesting going through all that. But then I also thought it was interesting, but kind of animal cruelty, that people were literally selling animals on the sides of the street, like on the sidewalk. There was one that had like turtles in these little cages, and then bunnies in a box. There was like 3 bunnies in this one box. I'm like, what the fuck? And then lizards and birds. I'm like, what the hell? I got a little bit of that on my camera, but it was like really messed up and like kind of sad to actually see. Like, that's not okay to sell any animal or species like that. That is animal cruelty for fucking sure. And my cat's back on my lap. Yeah, so after I bought a few things there, then I had walked back to my vehicle, and it was, guess what, the second time I lost my vehicle. So I lost my vehicle, rental car, a second time. Even though I pinned my location to where the vehicle was, I freaking lost it. Because I couldn't find the original signs that were outside on the street to go where I was going to go parking. So I was going around and around and around, and I looked at a previous like story I had made, and I saw in the background like a building, and I recognized the wording on it. I finally matched it up to a wording that I was like a block away from, so then I managed to find my vehicle that way. I think parking cost $10, I think. Yeah, it was like, maybe it was 15, I think, $15. So I had parked there, and that's where I had left it, but then I managed to find it, and then I drove all the way to the outlet mall. I liked the outlet mall in a sense that it was all outside, because like you're still getting fresh air, you're not stuck in a building the whole time. But for me, it was kind of pointless to go there, because I didn't buy anything except for some stuffed toys and just stuffed toys from the Disney store for my niece and nephew. If you're watching the video, you can see my cats like staring at the camera. Only bought that from there because they were on clearance, and only thing that made sense. Literally anything else would be pointless, because the Canadian USD and Canadian conversion rate is absolutely shit. Basically, you pay the USD, but you add a 30% on top of that. So that sucks. I had went to the Coach store, Michael Kors, and Calvin Klein, and I'm like looking at all the watches and bags and all that kind of stuff. I look at the price tag. I was at the Coach store. It said USD $350 compared to Canadian $350. Why in the fuck would I buy a bag from Coach if I can buy it at a Canadian store for the same price in American, but if I bought it in American, it would be like $450. Doesn't make any freaking sense. So I didn't buy anything at the outlet store. But I did go to Chipotle because I wanted to try Chipotle, and they had one there. Oh my god, my cat is trying to rub his face on things on my desk. Oakley, stop. So, tried Chipotle. It was funny because I was like talking to them, telling them like how much I didn't like In-N-Out and how disappointing it was, and they were shocked. Honestly, I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you be shocked? It was absolute shit. Chipotle, I would say sort of lived up to its name. It didn't make me like run to the bathroom like everybody says, but I don't know, I didn't mind it. The flavor was pretty decent, I think, but I don't know. It's basically like a Taco Del Mar, or like it's basically like a taco place or a burrito. I got a burrito, so it wasn't like anything amazing or anything, but yeah, so I tried that. And then after I had went to some Target stores to go get some SLMD skincare because you can only get that in the States, so it's kind of worth it for me to buy it. And then I find out that the skincare was all on sale. So I tried to go to all these different Targets to find the skincare. And I found pretty much everything I wanted, except for like the roll-on stick with silic acid. I think it's silic acid, a roll-on stick for acne. Yeah, so that was day 5. Day 6, I hiked up to the Hollywood sign. That took me maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Absolutely exhausting. Now that I know how hard hiking actually is, I would never, ever recommend going on a hike for a date. Ever. But I did have fun going up to the Hollywood sign, even though it was a lot of hard work. Pretty sure I burnt a little bit more then as well, but I had like a crop top on that covered my chest, so my chest at least didn't get burnt again, on top of a already burnt chest. And I definitely drenched myself in a crap ton of SPF 50 sunscreen. Yeah, so I had my black Nike sneakers. They're like walking ones. Comfort, all this shit. Great until I got back down to the car. My feet hurt so bad I thought I had like calluses. No. When I got home, I realized I actually had blisters on my pinky toes on the outside and then my one big toe on the inside. So that was a struggle. But back to the actual hike. So I went up to the Hollywood sign. I saw a lot of people walking their dogs. And I don't think you should take your dog up there unless you actually have water for them to drink, because that's pretty cruel. If you're like, a lot of the dogs I saw were just panting like crazy, and that makes me sad, because especially because it's pretty hot. Luckily, when I was going up, the sun, there's a little bit of shade because of the clouds, but then when I finally got close to the top, then it was just full on sun. It was very hot as balls after that. But yeah, and I saw some horses in the distance. People were taking a trail on the horses to the Hollywood sign, which was pretty cool. So when I finally got to the sign, and I got a bunch of pictures and videos of like all the views and of course the Hollywood sign and me with the Hollywood sign. Took some photos. I got some girls to take some photos of me so I could have the sign behind me. And then it was funny, there was these 2 guys on bikes. They wanted some photos taken of them and they're like, "Oh, we'll take some of you too." And I was like, "Sure." So they wanted to take my photos first, so they nicely did it with the camera. And then I took photos on their phone, I think it was their phone. With them with like the bikes and everything. So I took some photos for them. They ended up going to bike all the way to the back of the Hollywood sign. I didn't want to hike to the back of the Hollywood sign because I don't give a fuck about the back of the Hollywood sign. I just wanted the front. Sadly, you can't get right up and close with it because they do have it fenced off, and the hike trail only goes so far. And I was not going to go hike through just pure bush and get scraped or go meet a freaking rattlesnake, because there was like, warning rattlesnakes or warning mountain lions. I'm like, oh fuck my life. So I never saw any mountain lions or rattlesnakes, but I did see some deer. I saw 2 little deer like chilling, eating some branches, and I think assuming grass or whatever. But I got some photos and pictures, same thing. I got some of pictures and videos of the deer. They were very cute. That's when I was walking up to the sign, I seen them. Then I showed 2 other girls that were walking up, let them know, and then they got some pictures or videos too. But yeah, so I ended up going back down, and that was probably half the time of it was than going up, because of going down, you're like trying not to fall forward because you're on like a constant slow, not, why can't I figure out the word? Well, you're on a going downward, and it's very like little, but you're still like holding yourself up. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know why I can't get the word out of my mouth, but yeah. So finally got back to my car. I really wanted to go to Sonic because I wanted to try Sonic, and the only Sonic because I wanted to get a milkshake was like in a different freaking city, nowhere near LA. So I was like, fuck. So I was thinking, okay, let's go to Calabasas to go see if I can see like some celebrity houses, because the Kardashians all live in Calabasas. Now I finally get there. It took me like an hour to get there because of traffic. Traffic's whatever, it doesn't bother me. But when I got there, Calabasas is not that great. And every single area was a gated community. I literally got to the end of this one street and I didn't realize the end of the street was a gated community. I had to do a U-turn before the freaking security because everything's gated. And all these gated communities have security in each entrance. So I couldn't get pictures of the big ass houses, but I saw like some through like up the hill behind trees. So I took some photos of that and some video. So we'll see how those actually came out when I look at them. but Calabasas was a bust. So I went to a Trader Joe's to go to the bathroom. That was pretty much it. Trader Joe's was not that great. It was just more like a high-end grocery store. That was disappointing. So there was that. And then when I finally got back to LA, I went to more Targets to get more of the skincare stuff that I was looking for. And I went to a different mall because I wanted to go to like Marshalls and Winners. Or, no, Winners, sorry. Went to Marshalls because I wanted to see what stuff they had at their locations. My little sister had said, and depending on where the area is, the store is, will depend on what stuff is there. The more like bougie the area, the more bougie the clothes you're going to find. Yeah, it sucked there. There was next to nothing in like brand name stuff that I even recognized. Other than like in persons, yeah, the normal Kate Spade, Coach type of stuff, Calvin Klein, but nothing crazy. So that was kind of a bust. I went to a Target there as well because I wanted to get more skincare. And then I got a Starbucks. I got, what did I get? A chai iced frappuccino. It was good, but yeah. So that was that for day 6. Day 7 was my day to go home. Now, to go home, my first flight was all fine, but it was like a half an hour late to departure. So, of course, I'm a half an hour late when I get to the next airport for my flight back home from Calgary. Fun stuff. And guess what? My luggage did not make it home the first night. It was still left in Calgary because it didn't make it to the Calgary flight. So it came back the next day. It came to Regina the next day. Luckily, I had my Apple AirTag. I'll show you. Got the little Apple AirTag. It's super tiny. It's just like this big. It's very, very tiny. So I had that so I could luckily track where my luggage was. So that was nice. I wasn't too worried after that, but there was like 5 or 6 people that had their luggage missing when it was all still in Calgary. So that was kind of annoying at the end. But on the way home, on my first flight when I got to LAX, I ended up making a friend. This guy's name was Ben. We talked for literally an hour and had coffee because he was coming back from the Galapagos Islands. He was like traveling for, I guess, 3 months. And that was the shortest time he's been gone. Normally he goes for like a year. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So we were like telling each other our life stories, what we do for work, what he does for work, and all this kind of stuff. Very interesting, very nice guy. I actually got his Facebook, and I don't know if I got his Instagram too, but yeah, it was really nice. I think he was from like Vancouver or something, but he's from like Canada. But yeah, so I had chatted with him for a while and then went to my terminal, finally got on the plane, and then I was kind of feeling a little gross. So luckily when I got to Calgary, I fucking rushed to my terminal to get to it, and I got BK. BK took like 15 minutes to finally get my goddamn order. That was the only good thing about that flight being delayed a little bit as well. But the flight from Calgary to Regina was an hour and 11 minutes. Like, that was way shorter than it was from Regina to Calgary. I don't know why. Maybe the way, like, the wind or air is going. I don't know. But the flights themselves were fine. Nothing crazy happened. But my flight from Calgary to Regina, I had nobody sitting beside me. So I had a whole comfy area for me and myself, my bag, my blanket, my jacket, all that stuff. But, yeah, so that's kind of my whole trip rundown, what all went down, what happened, who I saw. Sadly, I saw no celebrities, but I had a lot of fun. I will definitely go back again, and hopefully that's in like the next year or so. I really hope I have an opportunity come up because I can no longer live in this city or province, and I need a new job ASAP. So if you know anybody hiring, let me know. But I gotta get at least a decent pay. I need at least 28 plus an hour. Or if you know any American companies that want to hire Canadians, let me know, because I will go to the States and work, because I don't want to be here anymore. Yeah, so that is that. It was a great time. I actually miss being there. Now realizing, like, when I came back, how shitty people drive here is absolutely insane. There are freeways there. Okay, so what I had to learn was how to drive in LA, because I was like, okay, we'll see how this goes, because you never know, driving in different cities is always a little different. Even from like Regina to Calgary, the cities are different. But these roads had words on them. The first one was like XING. I'm like, what the hell's XING? And then the other one just said PED. I was like, what the fuck? So on my first date, I asked my friend, I was like, what does XING mean? He's like, crossing. I was like, okay, it makes sense. And then it was PED. And then he was like, and I was like, oh, pedestrian. It's like, yeah. So it's pedestrian crossing. But when you're reading the words on the street, you don't read top to bottom. You read bottom to top. So it's like pedestrian crossing. And then there's another one in their intersections. You cannot block any part of the intersection or you're fined like $500, which is kind of nice because here people are fucking nuts and everybody blocks that shit so nobody can go anywhere. So no wonder the traffic is constantly like flowing as it should, because it is so busy. They need to have certain rules and proper rules in order for their traffic not to be backed up. I only was stuck like at a full pause once at an intersection because a different intersection was packed. That was it. Only the one time I was a full stop. But their freeway, I was terrified to try the freeway because of Clueless, when the girl goes on the freeway and she's like freaking out because everybody's going so fast. So I was like, oh my god, this is going to be terrifying. When I figured out the freeway, basically it was next to like basically there's like 4 different lanes, and then there's also the carpool lane and an express lane at some point. The express lane you actually have to pay to drive in. The carpool lane you have to have more than one person in the car, otherwise you're fined if you're ever in that carpool lane, which I understand kind of now because of the traffic. I don't think nobody would listen to that rule here if it was here, honest to God. There was actually a story at some point that some guy put a blow-up doll in a seat to have it be a person for a carpool to be in the lane. Yeah, they got fined because they clearly figured out that it was a blow-up doll. Yeah, so basically they drive either 5 or 10 above the speed. You never really ever go under the speed or the actual speed. Some people go actual, but it's usually above by 5 or 10, well, I guess miles per hour because they're not kilometers. And then when I came back here, I'm like, oh my god, everybody drives like a fucking grandma or grandpa and drive 5 or 10 below the speed limit. Don't get the fuck out of the way. And in these, like when you go down the ramps to get onto the freeway, you cannot be shitty at merging. You do not dare ever stop on that merge lane unless there's like, because they do have like lights there. I think that's for certain times of the day. They have like the red, green, yellow lights, and then only at one car per green light. I guess it's also how it goes. That's interesting. But yeah, they don't have like a shoulder you can drive on if people aren't going to let you in. You're going to drive into the fucking cement wall if you don't merge right away. But people there know to let you in. They see you coming, they're either speeding up or they're going to slow right down or get to the next fucking lane because they are not going to not let you merge. Here, literally the next day I had to go to work. I was going down the one main street we have, and it was, I swear to God, it was Senior's Day or something because every single person I saw when I was driving home for lunch was 70, 80, 90. When I was driving back to work from lunch, this one street was backed up, and it was just about 1 o'clock. By 1 o'clock, this street's either flowing just fine, or there's next to no traffic. I was like, what the fuck? Then there was 2 cars stopped completely in the merge lane. Like, get the fuck going. There's still a lane there so you can continue, so you can merge. So what I did, traffic was still flowing, but there was like a little opening. I fucking went past both of these cars, just cut out, and basically butt them all, and went into the next lane to go ahead of everybody else. Like, this is fucking bullshit. People here need to learn how to fucking merge properly. Do not stop in that lane. Never stop. Unless there's literally no other, like, entrances. If everything is, like, bumper to bumper, I understand. But there's not bumper to bumper, and there's a whole lane for you to be in. So, probably one of the things I miss most is the traffic flowing so nicely. And the weather, of course, but the weather was actually hotter here than it is there, but I found out that in October and September are the hotter months in LA. I did not know that, because as soon as those months hit here, it's already, like, snowing. It's fucking bullshit. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could live, like, in California somewhere. They have a lot of, like, little towns within LA. It's, like, LA adjacent, basically. But I was in the Gardenia area. And my Airbnb had like a full kitchen. I think it was a queen bed, or I think it was a queen bed. Queen or double. Either way, it was big enough bed. It was very comfortable. Pillows were great. Shower water was not the hottest, and the pressure was not the greatest, but it worked. And then I had the TV there. They had like Hulu, Crave, Netflix, Disney Plus, all that kind of stuff. I basically watched Letterkenny most days. I just left it on, and then would have that in the background kind of thing. Yeah, so that's basically a huge quick rundown of my trip. My vlogs should hopefully be out next week. There's just so much to go through and so many clips I have to look at, either delete or keep, and then merge them all together and make it a whole video. But yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed today's episode. And make sure you tune in to next week's episode, because you never know what tea is about to be spilled next. Bye, bitches.